In this video, we're going to do some practice with factors, multiples, and prime numbers, including some lowest common multiple and highest common factor questions. Please do this question now, pause the video while you do it, and press play once you're ready. You should have now done this first question. So a multiple is what? Say a definition of a multiple to your video now. Hopefully you've said that a multiple is a number in the times table of a number, or it's a number which your number goes into. So the first 5 multiples of 4 are the first 5 times tables of 4. First 5 multiples of 4 are 1 times 4, which is 4, 2 times 4, which is 8, 3 times 4, which is 12, 4 times 4, which is 16, and 5 times 4, which is 20. The first 5 multiples of 12 are the first 5 times tables of 12. So 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 2 is 36, 12 times 4 is 48, and 12 times 5 is 60. Please mark your work, and once you're ready, move to the next question. Please pause the video while you do this question and press play once you're ready. You should have now done this question. Say to the video what you think the definition of the word factor is. So a factor is a number which goes into your number. So the factors of 12 are all the numbers that go into 12, all the numbers that 12 can divide by exactly. So my favorite way to do this is using factor pairs. So I'm going to start from 1 and I'm going to ask myself, does 1 go into 12? And the answer is yes. And then I'm going to say, how many times does it go into 12? It goes in 12 times. So I now have my factor pair of 1 times 12. Which is 12. So 1 is a factor of 12 and 12 is a factor of 12. I then go to the next number, 2. Is 2 a factor of 12? Say your answer to the video. Yes, it is. And what do you need to multiply 2 by to get 12? Say your answer to the video. You should have said 6. So there's my next factor pair, 2 and 6. And 3, does 3 go into 12? The answer is yes, it does. And it multiplies by 4. Now, if we look down here, it goes 1, 2, 3, and then up here it goes 4, 6, 12. There's no numbers in between 3 and 4. So these are now all the factors of 12. I'm now going to write them out in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Now I'm going to do example B. 70. So I ask, does 1 go into 70? Yes, it does. It goes 70 times. So 1 and 70. Does 2 go into 70? Yes, it does. It goes 35 times, so 2 and 35. Does 3 go into 70? So I can do a quick check. Do you remember the quick check to check if a number is divisible by 3? Pause the video and think about it. Once you think you remember how to check if a number is divisible by 3, press play. So you've now been thinking about it. So the method is you add the digits together and see, does the total divide by 3? So 7 plus 0 is 7. Does 7 divide by 3? No, it doesn't. So 70 is not divisible by 3. So 3 is not a factor of 70. Next, I check the number 4. Does 4 go into 70? Pause the video and try and remember the check to see if a number is divisible by 4. Press play once you're ready. So the check to see if a number is divisible by 4 is, can you divide it by 2 twice and be left with a whole number? Can you halve it twice and be left with an integer? So 70 halved is, say your answer to the video. Half of 70 is, hopefully you said 35, and then half of 35 is, well, half of 35 is 17.5, which is not an integer, so 70 does not divide by 4. Let's find out now if 70 divides by 5. Do you think 70 divides by 5? Say your answer to the video now. Yes, it does. How do you know it divides by 5? Say your answer to the video. You know it divides by 5 because all numbers that divide by 5 end with a 0 or a 5. This ends with a 0, so it does divide by 5. So we now need to find out 5 times what is 70. So we can quickly do that by doing a division. 5 into 70, 1 remainder 2, 4. So 5 times 14. We carry on. Does 6 go into 70? If you find out if 6 goes into 70, you'll find out that it doesn't. Do you remember the check to check if a number divides by 6? Pause your video while you think about it and press play once you're ready. So to check if a number divides by 6, you need to check, does it divide by 2 and does it divide by 3? If it divides by 2 and by 3, then it does divide by 6. Now we know that 70 divides by 2 because we can see that 2 times 35 is 70. But we've already said that 70 does not divide by 3. So because 70 does not divide by 3, it also doesn't divide by 6. Next, we check the number 7. 70 is divisible by 7. It goes in 10 times. Now there's only 2 more numbers left between 7 and 10, which are 8 and 9. Does 8 go into 70? Well, 70 is not in the 8 times tables. And does 9 go into 70? Well, 70 is not in the 9 times tables either. So those are all our factors. 1, 2, 5, 7. That's going down this way. And then I go back up this way so I can write them in order. 10, 14, 35, and 70. Mark your work and press play once you're ready. Pause the video while you do this question and press play once you're ready. So hopefully you've gone through each number and you've checked, is it a prime number? What is the definition of a prime number? Say the answer to the video now. Hopefully you've said that a prime number only has 2 factors, 1 and itself. For example, 7 is a prime number because its only factors are 1 and 7, but 10 is not a prime number because its factors are 1 and 10 and also 2 and 5. So 7 is a prime number, 10 is not. So prime numbers are numbers which only divide by 1 and themselves. Their only factors are 1 and themselves. So they have 2 factors always, 1 and themselves. So let's go through each one. 29. Well, the only factors of 29 are 1 and 29. There are no other factors of 29, so 29 is a prime number. 92 is an even number, so it also divides by 2, so it's not prime. 2 has only got 2 factors, 1 and 2. So 2 is a prime number. 21, so you've got 1 and 21, but you also have 7 and 3. So that's not a prime number. 11, its only factors are 1 and 11. So 11 is a prime number. 1 is not a prime number. Why is 1 not a prime number? Say your answer to the video now. One is not a prime number because it does not have 2 factors. It only has 1 factor. What's the only factor of 1? Say your answer to the video. The only factor of 1 is 1. So it only has 1 factor. And because it only has 1 factor, it's not prime. That's a really common mistake. People think 1 is a prime number, but it's not. The first prime number is, what's the first prime number? Hopefully you've said the first prime number is 2. Mark your work and move on in the video once you're ready. Pause the video while you do this question and press play once you're ready. You should have now done this question. We need to circle the numbers that are divisible by 3. What is the check to find out if a number is divisible by 3? Pause the video while you say your answer and press play once you're ready. So the check to see if a number is divisible by 3 is you add the digits together and see if the total divides by 3. So let's do that. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and 3 divides by 3, so that divides by 3. 1 plus 1 plus 4 is 6, 6 divides by 3, so 114 divides by 3. Next one, 5 plus 1 plus 4 is 10, that doesn't divide by 3, so 514 does not divide by 3. Next one. But at this point, if you got the first ones wrong, because you didn't know how to check, pause the video and do the rest, and then press play once you're ready. You should have now had another go if you were getting them wrong. So let's carry on going through them. 4 plus 1 plus 5 is 10. That doesn't divide by 3, so 415 doesn't divide by 3. Next one, 4 plus 1 plus 5 plus 0 is also 10, and that doesn't divide by 3, so neither does 4,150. The next one, 410, 4 plus 1 plus 0 adds up to 5. That's not divisible by 3, so neither is 410. The next one, 4 plus 1 plus 1 is 6, which is divisible by 3, which means 411 is also divisible by 3. The next two also both have totals of 6, so they both divide by 3 as well. And finally, 4,104, when you add up the digits, it adds up to 9, so that is also divisible by 3, because 9 is divisible by 3. Pause the video while you mark your work and press play once you're ready to move on. Pause the video while you do this question and press play once you're ready. So this is an interesting question. You should have now done this question, and it's an interesting one because it's kind of a backwards version where you need to make the number be divisible by 5. So to make 715 something divisible by 5, it either needs to end in 0 or 5. So you can either have 7,150 or 7,155. Both of those answers are acceptable. Part B is a lot more difficult, so you need it to be divisible by 6. Do you remember what the test is to see if a number is divisible by 6? Pause the video while you say your answer and press play once you're ready. So to check if the number is divisible by 6, you need to check separately, is it divisible by 2 and is it divisible by 3? So if we want our number to be divisible by 6, firstly, it needs to divide by 2. For it to divide by 2, what does it need to end in? Say your answer to the video. So you should have said that to divide by 2, it needs to end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. How can we make sure it divides by 3? Pause the video while you say your answer and press play once you're ready. To ensure it divides by 3, we need to make sure that when we add the digits together, they add up to a number that's divisible by 3. So what I can do is just test each of these possibilities. So I'm going to write down all the possibilities by making sure that it's an even number, and then I'm going to test each one in turn. So I'm going to add together the digits. 7 plus 1 plus 5. What is 7 plus 1 plus 5? Say your answer to the video. Hopefully you've said 13, and that's not divisible by 3, so neither is 7,150. Next one, 7,152. What is the total of those digits? Work it out and say your answer to the video. You should have said 15. Is 15 divisible by 3? Yes, it is. So therefore 7,152 is as well. So 7,152 is divisible by 2 because it's an even number, and it's also divisible by 3. Let's do the next one. 7 plus 1 plus 5 plus 4 is 17. So that's not divisible by 3. The next one, 7 plus 1 plus 5 plus 6 is 19. So that's also not divisible by 3. And finally, 7 plus 1 plus 5 plus 8 is 21. Is 21 divisible by 3? Yes, it is. So is 7,158 divisible by 6? Yes, it is. Why is it divisible by 6? There are two parts to the answer. Pause the video while you say your answer and press play once you're ready. So we know that 7,158 is divisible by 6 because firstly, it's an even number, so it divides by 2. And secondly, when you add the digits together, the total divides by 3, so it divides by 3. Because it divides by 2 and by 3, it's also divisible by 6. So you can either have 7,152 or 7,158. Pause the video while you mark your work and press play once you're ready to move on. Pause the video while you do this question and press play once you're ready. So to find the highest common factor, we're going to use the list method. So you should have done this question. If you've not done it yet, pause the video and do it, and then press play. So to find the highest common factor of 6 and 8, the first thing we do is we write down all the factors of 6 and all the factors of 8. So the factors of 6 you should have found are 1, 2, 3, and 6. And the factors of 8 you should have found are 1, 2, 4, and 8. So the highest factor that they both share is 2. So the answer is 2. For part B, we have 6, 8, and 24. And I want the highest common factor. I've already done 6 and 8 in the previous part, so I'm just going to do all the factors of 24. So if you do this methodically, you'll get 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. Check your work carefully to see if you've missed any out. Pause the video while you do that and press play once you're ready. So it can be very easy to miss out factors if you're not methodical. If you see how I do it, I always start from 1 and I check 1, 2, 3, 4, and I go all the way until there's no numbers left. Once I got to 4 times 6, the only number in between those numbers was 5, and 5 isn't a factor, so I knew I had them all. And I want the highest common factor of all of them. Now, the highest common factor of 6 and 8 is 2. So if I add another number, 24, that's also got a factor of 2. That's still going to be the highest common factor. So the highest common factor of 6, 8, and 24 is also 2. Pause the video while you mark your work and press play once you're ready. Pause the video while you do this question and press play once you're ready. So you should have now done this question. So we're finding the lowest common multiple, and I'm going to use the list method. So I'm going to write out the first few multiples of 5 and then the first few multiples of 12. So let's do the multiples together. So let's start from the beginning. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Say it with me. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Let's stop there. Let's do the 12s now. Say it with me. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, and I'm going to stop there. And I want to find the lowest number, which is in both of those times tables. So I'm going to start with the 12 times tables, and I'm just going to go through methodically and check. Is 12 in the 5 times tables? No. Is 24? No. Is 36? No. Is 48? No. Is 60? Yep. So 60 is the lowest common multiple. If you got that one wrong, pause the video now and do B again and press play once you're ready. You should have now done B again if you got A wrong originally. Let's go through it. So we're going to firstly write out the times tables. So we'll write out the 12 times tables. So we've already done that. I'll do more. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. Carry on with me. Join in. 72, 84. Say it with me. 96, 108, 120, 132, 144. Let's stop there. Let's do the 15s now. Do it together with me. 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, 120. Let's stop there. And finally, let's do the 120 times table. So we have 120, 240, 360. But hopefully you can see that if you start with the 120 times tables, the first number in the 120 times tables is also in the 15s and the 12s. So the answer is 120. Pause the video to mark your work and press play once you're ready. Pause the video to do this question and press play once you're ready. You should have now done this question. So this is a standard question where you need to find the lowest common multiple. So if you want all 3 buses to next leave the station at the same time, you need to find the lowest common multiple of the 3 times. So I need to find the lowest common multiple of 18, 6, and 9. If you've not yet done that, please do it now. Pause the video to do it and press play once you're ready. You should have found that the lowest common multiple of 18, 6, and 9 is 18. So therefore, at what time will all 3 buses next leave the station? Well, if they start their first journey at 9 AM, I just need to add those 18 minutes on, and that will be 9:18. You know what? Every 18 minutes, all 3 buses will leave the station at the same time again. So if you wanted the next few times, it would be 9:18. What's 18 minutes after 9:18? Say your answer to the video. Hopefully you've said that the next time would be 9:36. What would be the next time after that they'd meet again? Work it out and say your answer to the video. Hopefully you've said 9:54. You can do that quickly by adding 20 and minusing 2. So a quick way to add 18, add 20 minus 2. Could you work out what the next time would be that they all meet again? Pause the video to do that and press play once you're ready. Hopefully you've said 10, 12. Again, an easy way to do it, add 20 minutes to get to 10:14 and then -2 to get to 10:12. This question didn't want all those extras, but I thought it would be interesting to think about them. So the answer to this question is just 9:18. Pause the video to mark your work, press play once you're ready. Here's question 9. Pause the video to do it and press play once you're ready. So you should have now done question 9. So this is a tricky kind of question. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, if the lowest common multiple of the two numbers is 12, both numbers must be factors of 12. So the first thing I'm going to do is write down all the factors of 12. So if you do that, if you haven't done that yet, please pause the video to do it now. Hopefully you've got that the factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. So I know that the two numbers must be two of those numbers. Then I know that the highest common factor is 6. Now, if the highest common factor of the two numbers is 6, these must be two numbers that have a factor of 6. So that means I can now cross out some of my numbers. Which of these 6 numbers that I've written do not have a factor of 6? Pause the video to work it out. Press play once you're ready. Hopefully you've said that 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all too small to have a factor of 6. So therefore, my only two numbers which are left are 6 and 12. So my answer must be 6 and 12. I can then double check that I've done it right. So is the lowest common multiple of 6 and 12 12? Yes, it is. And is the highest common factor of 6 and 12 6? Yes, it is. So there we go. Pause the video to mark your work. Press play once you're done. So here's the last question. Pause the video to do this question. Press play once you're ready. So you should have now done this question. So to work out the largest possible value of A over B, we want our number on the top to be, and here's your choice. Do I want the number on the top to be as high as possible or as low as possible? Say your answer to the video. You should have said that I want my number on the top to be as high as possible. Now, what about the number on the bottom? Do I want the number on the bottom to be as high as possible or as low as possible? Say your answer to the video now. I want the number on the bottom to be as low as possible. So what that means is I want this to be as high as possible, and I want this to be as low as possible. So that means for A, I want my highest common factor, and for B, I want my lowest common multiple. If you've not already worked out the highest common factor of 12 and 15, pause the video to do it now. If you've not already worked out the lowest common multiple of 12 and 24, pause the video to do it now. Hopefully you've now done this and you'll have found that the highest common factor of 12 and 15 is 3. And hopefully you've found that the lowest common multiple of 12 and 24 is 24. Therefore, A over B, so my A is 3, my B is 24. If you wrote that as your final answer, it's acceptable, but really you should be cancelling it down to the simplest fraction if you know how to do that. So we divide top and bottom by 3 to get 1 over 8. I'm going to put that in brackets because you might not know how to do that yet. But as long as you've got the answer 3 over 24, you've done it correctly. Please pause the video to mark your work and press play once you're ready. We have now done a series of questions about factors and multiples, about highest common factor, about lowest common multiples, and some problem solving related to it. We also talked about prime numbers, and we remembered that 1 is not a prime number. The first prime number is, say your answer to the video. Hopefully you said 2. Please like the video and subscribe for more videos on Key Stage 3 Maths.